Coming up, Hawkeyes softball pulls off an upset win.
And later, Iowa's staying active in the transfer portal.
Hello everyone, welcome to DITV Sports in the Zone. I'm Brady Barron.
And I'm Joel Keller, and we're going to take a look at everything going on in Hawkeye athletics.
Let's go ahead and kick things off, Joel, with our top 5 plays on In the Zone. Starting off with number 5, Iowa softball versus Nebraska here. Alyssa Ramos shot right up the middle for an RBI single. It's the first run on the board for the Hawks, makes it 2-1. Iowa would go on to win this one 5-2. Let's take another look at that. There we go.
And number 4, Iowa softball versus Nebraska as well. Jalen Adams in the circle pitching. A big bounce back after Friday's performance with 7 strikeouts in 7 innings.
Here's Iowa baseball. Game 1 of the series against Northwestern. Cabe Obermueller pitching, got a strikeout swinging with a high fastball there. That was just one of his 12 strikeouts for the game.
And number 2, we're going to go back to the softball diamond. Talia Tretton poking one in the left field in no man's land. A big base hit that would bring home a run that would tie up the game. Iowa was trailing 2-1 at the time. Iowa would go on to win that one 5-2.
Let's look at our top play. Northwestern Game 3, Blake Guerin at the plate, top of the 9th, knocks home RBI double off the wall, brings in our runner home from first. That would tie the game 4-4. Iowa would go on to lose. But let's take this back. Let's take another look at this hit right here. Boom! Right there from Blake Guerin, brings in a runner home. Again, Iowa would go on to lose that one. Over the weekend, the Iowa softball team hosted Nebraska in a 3-game weekend series. And Joel, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Things got a little ugly for them.
Yeah, the beginning of this series wasn't too great, but Iowa was able to kind of pull it out there at the end.
That's right. Let's take a look at some of the action here in this one, Joel.
In Game 3, the Hawkeyes were looking to avoid a sweep and end a 5-game skid. And Nebraska won the first 2 pretty handedly by a combined score of 26-1. But right now, as we see there, a base hit for the Hawkeyes, got things going, and then they used an error by Nebraska to get the offense moving, and from there, the Hawkeyes just took over. They ended up scoring 5 runs in the 3rd.
That's right. Jalen Adams also came in this one, Joel. She got her 200th career strikeout on Friday, but was pulled after early in that one. In this one, she bounced back with a full game where she tallied up 7 strikeouts. Iowa would go on to win in this one and improve to 22-4 overall, 4-6 in the Big Ten. Now the Iowa softball team wrapped up their 3-game series, and DITV's Cole Krieger witnessed that performance there on Sunday from Jalen Adams.
In their 3-game weekend series against the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Jalen Adams and the Hawkeyes got off to a rough start, being outscored by the Huskers 26-1 through the first 2 games.
But I think it's just nice to quickly make the turnaround from just getting away from who we were and failing to do simple things. And flat out, we were just playing bad softball. It's nice just to get back and playing some fundamentally sound softball.
In Game 3, the Hawkeyes came out cold once again, trailing 2-0 off of 2 Nebraska hits that were just inches away from clearing the fence.
It was not rocket science. It was kind of like, let's stop sucking as quickly as possible. And it was just fundamental softball. You know what I mean? We were failing at the simple stuff, fielding the ball, managing the strike zone.
The Hawkeyes quickly regained control with a 5-run inning in the bottom of the 3rd, followed by the arm of junior pitcher Jalen Adams and some great plays from the Hawkeye defense.
I'm just keeping the trust in my teammates and knowing that they have my back and that I have theirs, and just continuing to feed off of that.
After being pulled after just 1 inning on Friday, it was Jalen Adams who pitched a full game, striking out 7 batters and only allowing 2 runs to propel the Hawks to the win.
My back, I knew that they had faith in me, and all you can do is learn from it. So I think I just took Friday and learned from it and used it today.
With the veteran pitching from Jalen Adams, the Hawkeyes find themselves back in the win column, heading into their next matchup Tuesday night against Illinois State. From Bob Perel Stadium, Cole Krieger, DITV Sports.
Joel, big upset win there to avoid back-to-back series sweeps for the Hawks.
Yeah, and that's right. And to help us understand where this leaves Iowa in the Big Ten, we're going to go to Elise Gann in studio with us.
Yeah, guys, we've got some standing changes on my board last week, starting with softball, falling from 9th place to 10th place in the Big Ten standings after 5 losses in a row, first getting swept by the Wisconsin Badgers and then losing 2 of their 3 battles against Nebraska, although they finally broke that streak yesterday with an upset win against the Huskers. As the Hawks sit in the middle of the pack here, the postseason creeps closer and the top 12 teams get in, so Iowa is right on the cusp, and we will see how things fall as the season winds down.
Iowa baseball was also on the road. We're all on the road, against Northwestern this weekend, where the Hawks picked up another series win. They had a 12-1 run rule in 7 innings in game 1, 7-1 win in game 2. Got a couple strikeouts here. First, Cade Obermueller there, and then Reese Buter here with another strikeout. Hawks combined for 19 strikeouts over the course of the first 2 games. Looking for a sweep in game 3 to extend their win streak to 6. A Ben Wilmes RBI single tied the game in the 6th inning right there.
And then Blake Guerin went up to the plate and tied it right back up with a nice little base hit out there in the left field. Northwestern would get up to the plate in the 9th inning with an opportunity to win it, and they would take advantage with a walk-off victory against the Hawkeyes for the Northwestern 5-4 W.
You know, I know they lost yesterday, but Iowa baseball has been cruising, and they had a great weekend overall.
Yeah, they really have. And so I have to ask Elise, are the Hawkeyes still sitting atop the Big Ten standings?
Yes, Joel, they are. They may have had an off day yesterday. It's never fun to lose on a walk-off. But despite the loss, they still stand at number 1 in the Big Ten standings, 12-3. Like softball, the postseason is right around the corner, and currently the Hawkeyes are in the top spot in Pool A. But UCLA is not far behind in 2nd place with a 10-2 record. Although they are in a tight race, the Hawkeyes and Bruins won't actually face each other this season, so it will all come down to who has the stronger ending.
Iowa's tennis team shipped out east for the weekend. They went 1-1 against Maryland and Rutgers. The Terrapins pulled off the upset win against Iowa on Friday in a close 4-2 contest. Maryland grabbed the doubles point and kept the Hawkeyes at arm's length throughout the singles matches.
Iowa bounced back yesterday with a 4-1 win over Rutgers, dropping just 1 singles match. It's good for Iowa to bounce back after a tough loss, but they can't sulk on it with only so much time remaining in the season.
Yeah, the team is definitely still in a good spot, but we'll go back to Elise once again for the Big Ten standings to see how much could change during these final weeks.
Yeah, guys, like you were saying, Iowa tennis took a trip out east, but now they will navigate to the complete other side of the country to take on the West Coast teams with 2 weeks left until the postseason. As you can see, USC and UCLA are right on Iowa's tail as the Hawkeyes sit 5th in the standings with a 6-3 record and are pushing for that 4th spot so they can get a bye in the postseason, but they will have competition in their new conference buddies. The Hawkeyes will close out their regular season against the Washington Huskies, who currently sit in 2nd place. I'll send it back to you guys.
Now, the Iowa gymnastics season came to a close this weekend at the NCAA Regionals. While in Tuscaloosa, Iowa competed with California, Alabama, and North Carolina.
The top 2 scores, which belonged to Cal and Alabama, advanced to the regional finals yesterday, and Iowa scored a 196, resulting in a last-place finish after they only scored above a 9.8 once in the final 2 rotations.
Iowa's gymnastics season cut short there a little bit, but now we got a bunch of off-season activities going on across all of Hawkeye athletics.
Yeah, it seems like every week we just get more and more off-season news.
That's right, and we're going to go to Ryan Paris, in the newsroom. He's got to look at some of those off-season activities.
That's right, guys. A flurry of moves in the offseason for the transfer portal. One of those comes from the wrestling side with Dean Peterson, a transfer from Rutgers, joining the wrestling team. He figures to slot in as the Hawkeyes' new 125-pound wrestler. He has 1 year of eligibility remaining and is qualified for the NCAA tournament 3 times, reaching the round of 12 twice. He'll join Nasir Bailey and Jordan Williams as a 3rd transfer this offseason. But moving over to basketball, where most of the action has been happening, the Hawkeyes have a lot of former Hawkeyes now from the team last year coming to new teams. Josh Dix to Creighton. That's a big one. Later on Friday, Price Sanford goes to the rival Nebraska. Should be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out next year. And then lastly, Isaiah Johnson-Aragu, a midseason transfer, has entered his name into the portal. He doesn't have a destination quite yet. But lastly, for the Iowa women's basketball team, assistant head coach Raina Harmon is now the new coach at Florida Gulf Coast. She was with the team for 8 seasons and figures to slot in as the new head ahead of the Eagles. And then lastly, we got just about out of time. We'll send it back to Brady and Joel in the studio.
Thank you for tuning in to DITV Sports in the Zone. For Elise Gann, I'm Brady Barron.
And for Ryan Parrish, I'm Joel Keller, and we'll be back next week. But until then, stay in the zone.